jumped onto a trolley car, alone and wondering. The grove was full when I got there. People came from everywhere. I climbed a redwood by the stage to watch the reveille. Oh, hear the banjo ring. Hear the people sing. Hope changes everything. Sing, people, sing. I will not fight. I will not take orders. My life is short and getting shorter. This is not my land. I don't belong here. This is not my war. This is not my war. When I was young, I would play the hero. By chance for real, next to zero. I grew up poor and I grew up empty. Recruiters came, tried to tempt me. They promised cars and they promised money. They showed my future bright and sunny. Though it sounded good, I did not believe them. I had a friend, they deceived him. I will not fight. I will not take orders. My life is short, getting shorter. This is not my land. I don't belong here. This is not my war. This is not my war. My buddy won. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, finding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who've come before me band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side.
I'm no spring chicken, I'm not 22. You got a problem with that? I got a problem with you. Yeah, I earned this grade. Yeah, I earned this grade. Don't tell me I should wash it away. I earned this grade. I got my song, I got my guitar, and I don't know who you think you are. Don't you tell me I'm... Hello, folks.
Hi,
We're
everybody.
glad to have you here. Doing all the tech ourselves this morning, this afternoon. It feels like morning. We're so glad you're here to join us for this first ever. We're changing up our Learn Emma's Revolution song. We've had such an amazing year in 2020. One of the beautiful things about it has been gathering with you all and learning some of our songs, and we get to relearn them too, songs that we haven't sung maybe in a while. And we decided to, hold on, let me let everybody in the waiting room. We have usually a wonderful tech team, and all of them have been busy doing fantastic Zoom experiences this weekend, so they're a bit zoomed out. So we are doing tech old school, like that, one person. So, and Pat supporting. So, so this year for 2021, we decided to start this new opportunity called Special Guest Sunday. The last Sunday of the month, we're going to be bringing in singer-songwriter friends of ours for you all to get to learn their songs. We get to learn their songs along with you. Maybe you'll hear some artists you haven't heard before, and maybe you'll get to hear some favorites of yours who you do know and love. So we're going to be doing that for the first time here today, and we have a really wonderful performer and a wonderful, has such a courageous and beautiful big heart in her singing. And her name is Leah Morris, and we knew Leah from back when we lived in the Washington, D.C. area. And the funny thing is that we have been seeing more of Leah now online. So she's an award-winning songwriter. She runs workshops that she will tell you about. She's done online concerts. She performs her own songs and also other folks' songs, and she is just a total pro. And so we're very glad to welcome to the virtual stage Leah Morris.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey,
love.
how are you?
Oh my
How are
gosh,
you doing?
better for seeing you.
You know, I feel like the first thing we need to talk about is how I can get me one of them mugs, Pat. That's a real cozy looking mug. It's a nice looking mug.
Yeah, these are from our friends in Salida, Colorado. We'll give them a holler.
Handmade. You got to send me the website because that's
Yeah.
a good. Love a good mug.
So Leah, we wanted to invite you to teach, one of the songs that's on your heart, in this month of the inauguration and the insurrection and everything. We're really focused on that kind of concept of how do we create the country we want to be living in. And you have two beautiful songs that you've posed for teaching us. And what we've got on just so you know, and for folks who are watching on Facebook, we have a group of people up here on Zoom who sing all sorts of different voice ranges. So, and with our music, there's always two parts, but sometimes with yours, there's more. And then we have some guitar players, we have a fiddle player or a ukulele player or two. And then we've got people on Facebook who are watching and who will probably chime in with questions and reactions and all sorts of great stuff like that. So, yeah. So which song are you thinking of today? How are you feeling?
Well, you called it out. You called out the moment that we are still very much in this year, right? January. I think a lot of people thought, 2021, it's going to be real chill now in comparison. And then we got into the year, not a week in, and was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, we know how to roll with unexpected. We know how to roll with that. So then we had the wave, the overwhelming wave of fresh air and fresh promise with Amanda Gorman and presenting her poem. And so immediately after I just got over my massive crush, I sat down and wrote this song just in appreciation of the energy and the beauty and the promise that she presented to us. So that's definitely the song I'd like to share.
Cool. So that's the song Be the Light. And kind of what we love to do on this workshop is for folks who are here in the Zoom room, we usually have this crack tech team of 3 people, Moria, Toby, and Paula. And I see that Paula showed up, so she's going to be helping me out today. We love our tech team. So we'll be posting the lyrics into the chat and also on Facebook. But for folks who want to, you can go to our emmasrevolution.com website and you can download the page with the lyrics to Be the Light. And what we love to do is sing the song first so we can hear it, and then maybe you can teach us parts, and we will let you take it from here.
Sure. So you will remember that so there were 2 lines that stood out, which is saying a lot considering that, every section that she shared, every image that she presented was so rich. But the parts that really just grabbed me and stayed with me, she echoed Amanda Gorman echoed a concept that I've been thinking of for years and years and years and years and years. And that is our United States. And in fact, every one of us and anything that we encountered is not broken. It's unfinished. And as soon as I received her words of that, I recognized that we were kindred, looking at the same nation with more than hope, with just so much love, right? So much love and expectation and awareness that we get to help continue write this story. And the final lines of her poem, I'm paraphrasing, but she says that there is always a light. There's always a light, no matter what you're seeing, that it's always there. But you have to be brave enough to see it. You have to be brave enough to be it, to be that which you're looking for in the world. And she's, of course, paraphrasing Gandhi, and he got it somewhere. It's a human concept that we're just continuing to share forward with and for one another so that we remember the task that we are joyfully called to be the light. So I'll play it on the guitar, but it's mostly intended as an acoustic a cappella piece. So I'm gonna slap my capo on the second fret here. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll start here. A. There is always a light when we are ready to see it. There is always a light when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light when we are ready to see it. There is always a light when we are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will be the light. So that's the foundational melody. And let's go ahead and put that. I've got a trusty dusty looper here with me, so we're gonna go ahead and sing that 2 more times maybe. So we have that there. Let's see. And actually, you know what I'm going to do before I dive into the looping? I don't know if this is customary, so I'm looking at your squares, Sandy and Pat. Is it customary to have folks share their perspectives? I would love to hear what people experienced.
I think you do it just the way you want to do it.
Sure.
Maybe you're going to create a new custom for us. Go right on.
So I would just like to hear maybe some brief impressions of Amanda, her poem, the inauguration, your experience of January so far. Just what are you feeling about this call to be the light? What are you thinking about that?
I am Alice, and I was not feeling much light even during the inauguration. But when Amanda shared her poem, I felt like the lights had magically turned themselves on. Her words were so beautifully connected to each other, and they spoke directly to my heart. And I really needed that at that moment.
And oh, she disappeared.
Yeah, my camera's being.
Oh, there she is.
I'm here. I am here.
Yes, my name is Huda, and I live in Canada. And when the United States gets a cold, Canada sneezes. So I have been very, very worried about what's happening in the United States. When I heard Amanda, I felt a lightness and a joy for the practice of the light becoming something people can actually sing about. Like we're singing about the light. How great is that? So she's just, you guys get as many colds as you want, and I will drink anti-cold medication.
Well, Hoda, I'm sure you know that many of us in the United States look to the neighbors in the north and with fondness and love, and often with
Jealousy.
Yeah, that too.
We
So
also have
envy.
our dysfunctions, Leah.
Oh,
We
don't
have
we all?
lots of dysfunction. We have I don't want to give the image of Canada being
No,
some sort of a
of
stereotype
course.
place.
Of course.
Yeah,
We're all getting there. We're all continuing to write the story.
yes. Yes.
And you know, I think another thing that we are learning in this last year, if we weren't aware of it before, that oh my gosh, what an apt metaphor. One place gets a cold and we all start sneezing. Are we one village or what?
Yes.
You know what I mean? The world. Is this one family or what?
Yes.
You're absolutely.
Anybody else wanted to comment?
My name's Dane, and I live in suburban DC, Maryland, actually. And I felt when I heard Amanda, I felt her voice was just ringing out, a ringing of the Liberty Bell for us all, and a call to be the light.
I totally agree. I felt like she showed us how it's done and then gave us the invitation. Yeah, I totally
And
agree.
I felt kind of to follow along on that. Not only did she say it with her words, but she said it with her body. And it was not this static word presentation. It was throughout her whole body. And so for me, you know, I felt like I've seen the light. And now, you know, I hope I can be the light.
My
I loved it.
impression, Gene,
I loved it. It's like the miracle that they found her and got her in that perfect spot for everyone to hear the beauty.
I was just
Leah, I wanted to tell you that Naomi wrote on Facebook, the poem touched me and all my students. I have been playing your Be the Light for my students.
well, I'm really, really pleased to know that. And it actually, I wanted to just encourage Jean and let you know what I hear anyway, is that there's really no trying necessary, that all any of us has to do is show up as love, show up in love and be ourselves fully. I think that's the whole call. You know, I don't think you have to do anything special. Just show up and be yourself, full of love. And you do that, that's the light. To me, anyway, that's how I see it. And as Naomi talking about sharing with her students, I don't know how old her students are, but I do know that Amanda's age is part of what encourages us. I have a 21-year-old, which is a year to 2 years younger than Amanda. And I revealed in another call that my 21-year-old and her partner decided not to vote because they didn't feel represented by any of the options. And they still, with the inaugural process and the new administration in office, my daughter basically says, we'll see if this is any different than what we had before. There's a lot of disillusionment, and not just in her generation, but in the country and the world. And there are many of us, right? There are a lot of voices, a lot of American voices. But for me to hear a young lady of my daughter's generation stand up and speak so eloquently of potential and to be the hope. People talk about hope for the future. She's the future. I'm the future too. I intend to be here for a while, but seeing someone from the next generation stand up and be so bright and brilliant and it's impossible not to feel good about it.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Leah, I just wanted to let you know Carol has a hand up. Carol, did you want to speak now?
Okay, with my mouth full of lunch. I was impressed by the poem, but not as impressed as I think most people I've heard from were. But you know, it's okay. But I saw an interview, I think it was the CNN interview with that famous Cooper Anderson, in which Amanda said, we need to realize that hope isn't something that we ask of others. It's something that we have to demand from ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that is the most, I don't know, that's the phrase that she has said in what I've read and heard that touches me the most, because there's a forward movement implied in it. And I like that a lot.
Yeah. Thank you, Carol.
I'm Edie and I'm in Vermont. I just wanted to say I am so grateful, Leah, for your taking that moment and that poem and turning it into the simplest of words and melody that is absolutely beautiful. Like just having listened to it once, that's why I'm here to learn more.
Awesome. Thank you, Edie. I'm loving all that wood in your house since I'm in your house now. So I'm gonna, and if as we continue with our time together, if there are other things that come up and you want to share, please, I will do my best to create other opportunities for us to hear one another.
I think that Sarah might have had something to say as well. Sarah?
What I wanted to say is that her presence was so strong that then for you to be able to keep it ringing out, that's what was amazing, is that your song was such a gift because we could keep her presence ringing further and further. Thank you.
Thank you. I felt like her poem was very lyrical, very it delved into prose. It kind of went. She took a lot of different styles and brought them together. But there were moments in there that just were calling out to be sung, I felt. And I learned afterwards that her first book that she presented is called Change Sings, is that right? And on the front cover, there's a little girl with a guitar. And so it's clear, I don't know what her relationship to music is, but I think poetry and songwriting are so closely related that it's just a natural, it's a natural dance. So I look forward to conversing with young Amanda sometime. Ba 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 ba, ma 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 ma, there. All right, so let's put a couple of rounds of this song into the looper. There is always a light when we are ready to see it. There is always a light when we are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light when we are ready to see it. There is always a light when we are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. So one more time. There is always a light when we are ready to see it. There is always a light when we are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. So the second part in the video, I sang it in order of the sort of the inspiration. As the parts came, I basically presented them. But if I were inviting a choir to sing with me now, I would add the bass part next. So let's do it that way. There is always light. There is always light. There is always light. There is always light. See the light, be the light, shine, climb this hill. There is always light. So the bass is doing a pickup to there is always a light, there is always light. So it comes in, it kind of gets a call and response feel when the bass gets added in. So I'll sing it in context now with the original, the foundational melody. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to see it. There is always a a light. There is always light. We are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light. There is always light. There is always light. See the light, be the light, shine, climb this hill. One more time together. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to shine our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to shine our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. We know we will be light. So here's our alto, I guess. Alto tenors are kind of interchangeable. There is always, so we'll have the melody going. There is always a light. There is always light. There is always light. See the light, be the light, shine. Climb this hill, we know we will be light. So the melody starts on the one. There is always a light. There is always light. There is always a light. There is always light. See the light, be the light, shine. Climb this hill, we know we will be light. There is always, okay, so let's put it into context. 2, 3, 4. There is always a light. There is always light. There is always a light. There is always light. To see the light, to be the light, to shine our eyes in the dark night, to climb this hill. We know we will be light. There is always light. There is always light. To see the light, to be the light, to shine our eyes in the dark night, to climb this hill. We know we will be light. There is always light. There is always light. See the light, be the light, shine. Climb this hill, we know we will be light. There is always light. We are ready to see it. There is always light. There is always light. We are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to shine our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill, we know we will be. So then there's the soprano part, and it equally it's the same message in different words. Shine your light in the darkness. Shine your light in the darkness, And I need to speak to this because last year I had, which wasn't really an epiphany, but I was able to put it into song. It was a message that we all know. It was just something that wanted to be sung through me. A dear friend wrote a song, Exalting the Light, which we often do, and partially because, you know, in daylight we can see we are diurnal creatures. We yearn towards the light like many of our plant friends do. But at the same time, we often, and partially because of cultural lessons that we've learned, dishonor the dark. Often, not always, and not all of us. But it was important for me to acknowledge the darkness, whether it be actual night, whether it be those of us with dark skin, whether it be moments of grief and turmoil and difficulty, whatever that darkness is, figurative and literal, to honor it as part of our human experience and to recognize that it is to be as exalted and appreciated as the light. That there are two sides of one coin, right? And you can't appreciate the light without the darkness, and the darkness helps. And so, you know, I could go on all day and night about the yin and yang of this, but I just wanted to speak that out as I sing, shine your light in the darkness. I hope that you hear the honor that I feel towards the darkness in that call. Shine your light in the darkness. Shine your light in the darkness. Let your bright heart burn out loud and be a gift in the world. I may have changed the key, let's find out. I did not. Cool. So one other minor thing, a gift in the world. A dear person, Beth Siverson, who I haven't met yet, so I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, transcribed this song. And actually the sheet music is available on my website, like as of today. So I'll make sure you guys get access to that. But she, in her first draft, she put, be a gift to the world. And at first I was like, well, you know, that coincides with the syllable to on together when we, with one of the other parts sings that. And I thought, well, that's going to sound good. But then I also had to recognize the muse, my muse, gave me the lyric, gift in the world. And there's probably a reason for it. So I sat down for a few seconds to be sure that it mattered and that I wasn't just being picky about my pronouns, right? Or about my prepositions. And indeed, in the world, in, that is the preposition I want in that spot, because I think it reminds us that we're not here shining our light, like, here world, here's a thing, you can have it. It's like we're in the world. We are in communication, in relationship with the rest of the world, shining, being shined on, inspiring, being inspired, dancing with one another in the world. It's not a giving to. What Emma's Revolution does isn't just, I'm giving you guys something. They are fabulous. And there is an exchange. They are in this relationship with you, right? And I know you feel that every time you get together, that there is a give and a take. I'm in the world. I'm not giving it something. I'm just part of the cycle of this, the circulation of this energy. So we're going to sing in and not to the world. You wouldn't have even noticed, but because it came up in the last couple of days, it's super present for me. Ba, 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 shine. Here we go. Let's sing it in context. 2. It starts right on the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shine your light in the darkness. Shine your light in the darkness. To see the light. Let your bright heart burn out loud and be a gift in the world. There is always shine your light in the darkness. Shine your light in the darkness. See the light. Let your bright heart burn out loud and be a gift in the world. the darkness. To see let your bright heart burn out loud and be a gift in the world. So the only part that remains is a direct harmony with that shine your light, shine your light. So it sings the shine your light harmony twice. Shine your light in the darkness, shine your light in the darkness. And when we get to let your bright heart burn out loud, it's an unison, but an octave below. So is that unison? Maybe not. Okay. So I'll just put these two together so you can hear them. 2, 3, 4. Shine your light in the darkness. Shine your light in the darkness. Let your bright heart burn out loud and be a gift in the world. Shine your light in the darkness. Shine your light in the darkness. Let your bright heart burn out loud and be a gift in the world. Shine your light in the darkness. Shine your light in the darkness. Let your bright heart burn out loud and be a gift in the world. Okay, so those are the 5 layers of the song. And so I'd like to bring them in again, one at a time. Is there anything that you guys would like to hear again before we just lay them all in? Before we knock them out?
I think some people had a question or two. Folks, if you had a question about a part, this is a good time to give Leah a chance to breathe and take some water. And while, do we have anyone who wanted a part again? Okay, good. So let me come to you in a minute. Let me give Leah a second and just tell you what's happening on Facebook too. So Jessica, who's a dear old friend of ours, said, "This is so heartening right now. Thank you for teaching this reminder in song," which is really beautiful. Arlene said, which is a new friend of ours we really love too, "Love the image of being the light." And I was very glad, this is coming from me. Let's see what else. Everyone's just loving it at hearts and all that good start. Great teaching, says Margot. I love that you talked about how important that word, whether it was be a gift in the world or be a gift to the world. So as songwriters, we care about the words, and each word really says a different thing. It has a different shading, a different coloring, a different messaging. So I'm really glad you took the time to do that. And we also just want to love you for honoring the darkness and being so clear about that, about how you are using that moment in the song. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, sweeties, I think she had some water. Who had a question? I saw some hands. What part did you need to hear again, peeps? You don't now. Look at you. You all grokked it after having a moment to breathe.
I have a question.
Yeah, it's Chris.
Okay, so Leah, this is Chris. You and I have been communicating as recently as this morning. Right. So I'm using this both with our adult choir virtually, but I also teach in very intense COVID Black and Brown communities in the city with a lot of immigrants. And I'm going to use this with preschoolers and kindergartners and first graders virtually. Maybe I'm not hearing this right, but the first part that you do, right? The first part you gave us, is there towards the end of the song, do you do another layer of harmony, a higher harmony on top of that first part, not the 2 different alto parts, not the soprano part to the shine your light, but is there a part that is layered on top of specifically those first 5 lines?
No.
Okay, that's what I just needed to correct my ear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nope. You're most welcome. The only difference between what we're doing here and what's on the video that you might have seen on YouTube is that I modulate it. I go like, I think a full step higher, which the looper might have a way to do that, I don't know what it is.
Right.
So
yes,
we're
we,
gonna
we
be safe.
cannot handle modulation. We got the rest of it.
Right on.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Good to see you.
We had a question about in the chat to hear the third line of the alto part again.
Or maybe,
Does that make sense?
maybe just the alto part.
There's a lot of lines. I know. You're standing and you're singing 100
I'm
times.
not 100% sure which one of these the alto part. So let me
I
think.
know.
The first part is there is always a light, and that's like tenor or alto. I think it could kind of go either way. And then is that the part the person means? You mean the first like foundational melody?
Well, we
or
might
do
need
you-
to ask the person. Let me see if I can. Where's my friend Elle? Would you come up so you can speak and tell exactly what you're interested in? There she is.
Howdy do. Ooh, I see instrument.
Hi, Leah.
How are you?
Well, it was the part that you said was the alto part. It wasn't the shine. Let your bright hearth burn out loud. That
Yeah.
part.
Okay, so the way I'm hearing it is the first part. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to alert you that after I put that in the chat, someone else asked for the same line in the soprano part.
Okay. All right, we'll get there. We'll figure it out. So I'm hearing the first line, there is always a light, that part as being tenor. We'll just call it that. And then the second part I presented was the bass part. There is always light. And then I presented the alto part, which corresponds pretty closely with the bass part. So is that what you're looking for, the third one? There is always light. There is always light. See the light, be the light, shine. Climb this hill, we know we will be light. There is always light. There is always light. See the light, be the light, shine. Climb this hill, we know we will be light. Is that what we were looking for?
She may have frozen. I loved hearing that.
Am I still frozen now?
No, you're good.
You're good.
I think I was looking for part 2, what's labeled on our lyric sheet as part 2, and the let your bright hearth burn out loud, which is line 3 of that.
Sure. Okay, so we have the soprano version of it. Shine your light in the darkness. Shine your light in the darkness. Let your bright heart burn out loud and be a gift in the world. And then the part that goes with that is sort of an alto part. Shine your light in the darkness. Shine your light in the darkness. Then we drop. Let your bright heart burn out loud and be a gift in the world. Or you could, of course, jump up with the sopranos. Let your bright heart, whatever works for you. I am singing heart, not hearth as in a place to cook, but a heart as in an organ to keep us alive. So
Nice. Thank you for that correction too, because I saw it both ways, one in your video and one in your lyrics. So heart, people. Yes.
Oh, did I put hearth in the lyrics? That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but don't check it so you get what you want.
Right, exactly. Okay, cool. Were there any other things that we want to review before we just lay them all out? Thank you, Elle. Going once.
Yeah, right. This is fantastic, by the way. Oh, I think we're unmuted. Just to say, we're having so much fun learning some parts, and it's not usually what we're doing on this event, so we love it.
I appreciate making the space. That I really, really, I knew that this was going to be a warm, welcoming community because, you know, you attract like people, right? And I was like, oh, Sandy and Pat's people? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm ready for that. And so I appreciate you making space.
Of
Thank you.
course.
All right, here we go. Let's start from that first part. There is always a light. Ba, 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 ba. 1, 2, 3, sing. There is always a light. When we are ready to see it, there is always a light. When we are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. Let's do that again. There is always a light. When we are ready to see it, there is always a light. When we are ready to be it, to see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Here comes the bass. Together we will. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Together we will. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to raise our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. All right, altos, here we go. Together we will. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to shine our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. We know we will. There is always light. There is always light. We are ready to see it. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to be it. To see the light, to be the light, to shine our eyes in the dark of night, to climb this hill. Here comes the high. Together we will. There is always shine your light. There is always darkness. There is always shine your light. There is always darkness. To see the light, to be the light, to shine your eyes in the dark of night, and be a climb this hill. In the Lord, there is always shine your light. There is always darkness. There is always shine your light. There is always darkness. To see the light, to be the light, to shine your eyes in the dark of night, and be a climb this hill. All right, alto 2. Together we will. There is always shine your light. There is always darkness. There is always shine your light. There is always darkness. To see the light, your bright heart shine in the dark of night, and be a climb this hill. Together, one more time. There is always shine your light. There is always darkness. There is always shine your light. There is always darkness. To see the light, your bright heart shine in the dark of night, and be a climb this hill. Together we will be the light.
Wow, that was so beautiful.
So beautiful, Leah.
Oh my gosh.
What a treat. What a pleasure.
Let's pop you up here for a second so we can say hello and check in. And oh my goodness, what a joy. Here we come. Add in the spotlight. What an absolute joy for us to get to sing and learn your song and such beautiful parts. Every part was
Yes.
fascinating and
Oh.
had nice little turns that, just unexpected and beautiful. And I just couldn't, I couldn't pick one. So I sort of sang every one of them except for the bass part, which is a little.
I was holding down the bass.
low for me.
Oh,
A
it's
little low. Yeah, it's a little low.
There's like this perfect thing you got to do with the jaw, and there it is. But if
Yep.
you don't do it, then it's
But it's so beautiful because we heard the video, we saw the video on the Daily Antidote of Song. Was the day, I don't know, last week, like the day after you wrote it or something amazing like that. You got it finished and up and out fast. And it was beautiful. And folks who haven't seen the video, we'll put the links in the chat and on Facebook. Thanks to Paula, who's here from our team. Thank you, Paula. We love you. I'll get that for you. But it's beautiful because in the video, you are really representing that moment at the inauguration. You want to tell us about what was that like for you?
So, Amanda knew what she was going to be sharing, right? She knew what she was doing, and she put on a crown. She had her beautiful red crown. She had her sparkling red mask and her yellow coat. And my dad, who watches nothing but sports and Jerry Springer, was like, "Did you see the little girl in the yellow coat?" It's like,
I love it.
She made an impression. And I happen to own a yellow coat. So I was like, if you're giving a shout out, you give a proper shout out.
Nice. Well, it was beautiful and and so skillful and just so heartfeltly delivered. So I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing this time with us and this song with us and your vision for the song and everything that you shared from the behind the scenes, kind of how you wrote it, why it matters. It's just so lovely, and I feel very inspired. And I know our crowd loves, just loves to get to sing, and you really spent so much time singing with us. And the way we do this for folks who are watching on Facebook, we have a little bit of a hang on Zoom afterwards, and we'll probably let Leah listen for a bit and not have to use her voice because she's been singing for an hour full on. When we do it, we've got two people to spot. You do your part, I'll do my part, whatever. But that's what we do sort of coming up. So folks who are watching on Facebook, there is a link that's posted in your chat, in your comments, thanks to Paula. And you can come and join us in the Zoom room. And we do this every week. And before we get to sort of final things like that, and we'll be doing this new, I think it worked, right? What do you think, people? Special guest Sunday, I think totally rocks. I know we're getting thumbs up on Zoom here. Good. It's fantastic. So we will be continuing this where the last Sunday of the month, we will have a guest who comes in, delivers a beautiful song just like Leah did for us today. So we're so glad you kicked off the series, Leah. Is there stuff you want to tell folks about what you've got coming up?
Oh, yes. So I would say first thing, I'd like to invite anyone interested to check out my website. It's thisisleah.com. Leah spelled L-E-A. It's just like I'd answer the phone. Hi, this is Leah. And I've got a songwriting group, like a workshop thing coming up. And I've got a course that I'm really excited about where I'll be taking people on my personal process from allowing the inspiration of a song through finishing the video. And like you said, it goes pretty quickly for me because I've streamlined the process. And over the course of a month, I'll be showing people what I do. And ideally, some of it will be useful if you're interested in writing songs or editing videos or all the madness that goes in between. It's really, really a lot of fun. And I'm enjoying the tech. I know I'm going to talk a little bit about my looper and all that stuff. It's going to be a great time. I have a concert, a full hour-length concert coming up. And probably the best thing, if you're interested in staying in touch, is to just get on my mailing list. You can go over to my website, the contact button, email me, and then I'll tell you all the stuff I'm up to because I'm excited about it.
That sounds wonderful. I'm interested in that looper and all that cool stuff. So yeah, I'll have to find out when your course is, but that sounds wonderful. So we're just honored and thrilled that you came to kick off this opportunity to really get to learn, more about our friends and their music and their songs. And thank you for really just creating that song in the moment and getting it out there. It's a beautiful song.
Yes, so Facebook folks, come and jump on the Zoom to be with us, and you can chat some more with Leah and ask your questions and shout her praises.
Yeah.
And we will see you all next week. And Zoomers,
Right.
when as soon as we sign out of Facebook, then you can open up your mics and say hey, and we'll all get to chat about what's going on.
Yeah. So we will see you next week.
Much
Facebook.
love, Facebook.